And it's about that time, baby, baby. Here we go, man. Let me get my ass cheeks comfortable. Oh Lord, this fucking chair, man. Fuck, let me tap in. What's good, world? Yo, you tuned in to the Michael Jackson Show. I'm about to press the button and get it going. Get money. Get money. Yo, and are we connected? And at the end, hey, what's cracking? Your boy is back. It's Thursday, October 31st. That means it's Halloween. And if you're not out trick-or-treating, stuffing your fat cheeks with candy, you're probably tuned into the Michael Jackson Show, because that's what this is. It's the #1 man in internet radio, or radio period. Let me just go ahead and start making these claims, man, because you got to put that out into the universe. If I really believe that, I got to say that out loud a few times just to see how it rolls off the tongue, make sure it feels good. So we're going to get the music going. I appreciate y'all tuning in. This is the Michael Jackson Show. We are live on Track Talk Radio. Again, it is Halloween. I say holla. So I'm going to holla back after the song is done. Let's get it. All right, man. We got some music playing. I got some old school cuts. I got the ATL, Make It Up With Love. Just start off with an R&B record. Smooth transition. We've been playing a lot of rap music. I don't want people just to assume that it's a rap-only show. So we got some more, slow and steady jams playing tonight. But thank you for tuning in with me. I would like to say that we have lots to talk about. And it's not that we don't, because my annoying ass can just talk all damn day. But I didn't have a lot of stuff. Mainly because I spent all day yesterday kind of just connecting with people about Tuesday's show. We talked about the topic of abuse and domestic violence and, just the impact that has had on many, many people's lives. I don't want to just specifically say women. Excuse me, but it has had an impact on a lot of people's lives. It's had an impact on my life, the life of my mother, my sister, unfortunately my father, and just our entire family. And some of this stuff, especially when you think about abuse, and I believe with everything, it's one of those learned behavior type of deals. And so I wouldn't want to always just imply that means that abuse happened to the abuser in their past, or in a home that they were in, or with people that they were in. But I can't imagine that people just wake up one day and just go, you know what? Today feels like a good day to treat somebody like shit. And the person that I've chosen is my spouse and or my children. I don't think people wake up doing that. No, let me rephrase. Abusers definitely probably do to some degree, but I'm saying that it didn't just start like that one day. They had to have seen that type of behavior, whether it be in their own life or somebody that's close to them, or maybe they just watch too much fucking TV or something, or who knows. I understand that there are some type of, chemical imbalances in a lot of people. I have some mental health issues that I'm working to get cleared up. I don't think it's anything that's beyond repair, but a lot of it is just, I struggle with my own sadness and, being frustrated about things and, stressing about things that are not in my control. That does not lead me to put hands on people. I only do that when necessary. Everybody who knows me knows that is true. I'm not shy away from, mixing it up with folks, but I think to go out of your way to harm people, especially those that you claim to care about, that type of stuff is a learned behavior. So like I said, I don't feel like somebody just woke up one day and was like, you know what, today's a good day to start abusing. That does not happen. So I spent the last couple of days checking in with a lot of people about that. So I appreciate all you wonderful people who reached out to me and, let me know that Tuesday night show kind of spoke to them. I appreciate you sharing your story with me, because I know a lot of that stuff is personal. I'm actually shocked that I talked about that on the air, because only a few people who are close to me know that those situations were a part of my family. And especially that story about me with my sister. A lot of people, almost nobody, ever knew about that except the people close to me. I don't want to say that I was hiding it because I was ashamed. I'm just a private person. I didn't feel like it was anybody's damn business. And also, I do the best that I can to not spend time focusing on the past. It's an extremely unfortunate incident. And it happened when I was such a young kid, but it is something that is a part of my story. It's a part of my history. It's a part of my character development. So I think having this platform, I think it was important that I share that information with people. So that way they have an understanding that I'm just not talking out of the side of my mouth, that I wasn't just speaking on a topic or a subject because I was in a conversation with somebody that day. Like, I'm trying to talk about things that, have impacted me, based on my experiences, all that. I want to speak on things. There are going to be things that I talk about that I have no idea about. I don't know a ton about politics, but I've decided that I would like to make the conscious effort to get a little more educated on the subject of politics. That way I can get a better understanding as to why people will still, support specific people, even though they have specific views and things of that nature. Because I think we are in a time now where I think anyone who does a job like this, or branches out to take on this type of responsibility, which is informing people, talking about subjects, and having a voice that can spread to the masses, I think it is important that the knowledge and the education come with it. And so I don't want to always be speaking about things that I am not knowledgeable about. But this is also the benefit of this, is that because I don't know, I do have the opportunity to speak to and connect with people who can educate me and help me better inform whenever I do choose to speak on a certain topic. Tuesday was crazy. So again, I appreciate all the people who reached out. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate it, because I know it's not always easy to share stories, and much respect to all the people who made it out of those situations, and to the people who are stuck in them and stayed in them, I'm sorry that you have to endure that. I wish I could say that there are brighter days, but I also believe, as long as you're trapped in a situation with a person who requires control and wants to, hold you down and keep you under the thumb, better days might be not as likely as they could be. But I'm hoping for you that will change if you are still involved in those situations. Let's see, man. Man, today's been a very interesting day. Like I said, it is October 31st, so it means it's Halloween. Maybe it's just one of those days where people wild out because, everybody's dressed up and everybody's had a lot of sugar. But, man, I've had a very long day, mainly just dealing with conflict. And I think one of the things that I'm going to talk about today, probably not at the start of the show, because we're letting another song run right now. We had ATL, Make It Up With Love, and then we had Mike Posner, Deja Vu, and now we got T-Pain, Let's Get It On playing. But after this song, we're going to jump into the show, talk about some funny shit for a little bit. But then I think I might dive into the topic of, it stems from a racially charged situation, but it's with a child. And so I want to talk about, what my views and beliefs are on learned behavior, because I don't think that kids just show up hating people. I think there's proof of that when, if you ever been or seen like an after school program, you see kids at school, most kids can just interact with anybody. They don't really know any different unless they're being told to act different to people for specific reasons. And so I think based on some of the stuff that I kind of had to deal with today, while working one of my jobs, I think I want to touch on that. I'm not going to say any names or provide a lot of details. I'll just let you know that I think that we have a young student who is being, I don't want to say who's being, I think he has been let down. He is continuing to be let down by the people who are adults in his life that he is surrounded with on a daily basis. And I don't mean the people that work with him during the day. I'm talking about his outside influences and the people who enable his behavior. It is hella unfortunate, but I think based on what happened today, I think it's just important. I just want to spew some facts. I'm saying spew because working with kids as long as I have, I've just seen so much stuff, and I think some of the I don't want to say they're excuses, but some of the things that I talk about with other adults who work in the field, and the way that it seems like the majority of people feel is that like we are past the point in time where like disciplining kids was just like the norm. Now it kind of feels like we just let kids kind of do whatever they want because we're so high up on making sure that we empower people, and we want people to just do them and be them. But I think there's a line and there's balance. And I think if you're just letting kids do whatever the F they want, you're gonna see where bad behavior kicks in and where there's zero accountability. And then once parents allow their kids to cross that line, it's not always as simple to get them back, to reel them back in and to show them things, and teach them, correct their behavior, so on and so forth. And so I think we're gonna touch on that a little bit later. But the song is coming to an end, so let's jump in the show. If you're still tuned in, I appreciate you. Sorry for all the rambling and shit that I was doing. Hey, let's get it. Your boy is back. Sorry for yelling at you. Look, man, I just cut the damn song off because I can do that. It's my show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Memequel Jackson Show. I appreciate you all tuning in. It's October 31st. It's Halloween, or as I've been telling people all day, Happy Halloweeny. I know that's pretty stupid, but I mean, third grade jokes still make me laugh. It's always funny when people say weenie. I don't know, man. That shit was funny to me. So I've said it about 8 times. It's obviously losing a little bit of luster. It's not a funny joke, but I laughed. So that's all that matters. But yeah, I appreciate you tuning in. We are live on Track Talk Radio every Tuesday, every Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you happen to miss the live show, it's not a problem because I am recording this as we speak. It will be up on the YouTube page sometime in the early hours of morning. So once you're done moaning, you can tune into my show and, let it rock you to sleep. Maybe I'll use my smooth R&B voice, talk to all the ladies. Hey, ladies, clean your room, man. I'm tired of seeing some of y'all's pictures on the internet and y'all don't have clean rooms. I'm over it. Stop having a dirty bathroom and a dirty room and get your ass off the counter. Anyway, we had some good music playing. So if you've been tuning in since jump, I think the first song we had playing was Make It Up With Love by ATL. That's an old cut, old R&B. I decided that I would go with a little more R&B music tonight because I think the last few shows have been rap heavy. A lot of people like it, but a lot of my listeners tend to be female, and they weren't complaining, but it was a little bit tough with all the rap music, and then there was a lot of sports talk. We had people that, were just saying that they like to hear more of this, other topics. It's not that I won't dive into sports. Sports is my thing, but I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. Tonight's game is kind of a joke. Oh my God, just watch the nigga just run out of bounds and run into the damn sideline and run into the kicker's net. Whoever number 12 is for the Arizona Cardinals, fam, you got to learn how to use the brakes, bro. He's looking like Luis Mendoza off Mighty Ducks. You remember when my guy couldn't stop on his own skates on Mighty Ducks 2? Don't act like you don't remember that shit. But anyway, we want to try to not do, such heavy stuff on one particular topic. Sports will be discussed, so I'm not changing anything about my show. I think the one episode people are mentioning was NBA opening night. So look, if we have opening night for sports, the show will be sports heavy. You just have to deal with it. If you want to see my nice looking face and my glorious ass beard, you're going to have to listen to me talk about sports. It is what it is. Y'all got to get over that shit. I'm hoping tonight that we're not going to take a turn and have to go talk about Don 45. Looks like he hasn't done anything overly stupid like normal, so we're not gonna give him any shine tonight. We probably will make fun of Kanye West a little bit because people keep trying to force that damn gospel album on me, man. I'm telling you, stop sending me that shit. I do not want to listen to Kanye West attempt to do gospel music, okay? He was barely good at the other kind of music, which was actually his type of music. Now he's in another realm. Good for you, Kanye. For the people that are yes men and that are following you and they think that that shit's cool, I hope that y'all love it and love it forever. And I hope you scream Yeezy and wear Yeezys while you do it. But that shit is not for me. It's just what it is. So stop sending me that crap. I got my tea here so I can be ready. But yeah, I'm not feeling that album. But also, I'm not really a big gospel fan. I think the most gospel I listen to is a couple of cuts from Kirk Franklin, which again, shout out to Kirk Franklin. We gave him a shout out on Tuesday night show for, doing the right thing, standing up to people who were trying to stand on top of freedom of speech and, I mean, honestly, the promotion of minorities. It seems, again, I'll refresh your memory based on what I'm talking about. Kirk Franklin has stepped up to the committee or the execs of some major gospel award show because he feels like on multiple occasions when he has been up for awards and been given awards that he's been cut off while he's been giving his award speeches. Excuse me, I had to burp. Some of his award speeches like to reference things that are like current events that happen in our community, especially when it comes to, people being killed by police and, racially charged incidents. And so I guess where Kirk had to draw the line was that on his last appearance on this award show, it seems like when he went to speak about Tatiana Jefferson, who's the young lady in Fort Worth who was murdered in her home by police while her 8-year-old nephew and her were playing video games one night, when he went to, speak highly of her and her family and bless them with prayers, he also went to bless the police officer because, yes, although a big and major mistake was made, and it's a mistake that cannot be undone, Kirk believes, based on his faith and how he feels as a man, that it was important to make sure that he still shows some grace towards the officer. I can respect that. I don't really agree with it. Kirk, do your thing, because I probably would have had to be like, yo, my man, when we get outside, we got to run it. But Kirk, he took his route, and I can appreciate that. It sounds like the award show committee people, they hit the fucking music on him and basically cut off his speech, or maybe whenever they played or when they aired the show, I think they cut it off. Kirk was not happy about that because what is the point of these celebrities, entertainers, athletes, all these people who have platforms, who are able to get in front of microphones, be on TV, and be able to express the importance behind raising awareness and standing up for all of our people, all of our brothers and sisters, and doing all these things? What's the point of them being able to have this platform if when you plan to give them an award, you cut them off and they're not able to speak? Kirk truly believes that that's bullshit, and I stand with him on that. So, big shout out to Kirk Franklin, because I think you're fighting a good fight, brother. We'll always love you and respect you for that. And what I was saying is I only listened to a couple of gospel tracks. One is Revolution. Kirk Franklin had that record. That's hot. And then Stomp and Lean on Me. So if you get a chance to listen to those 3 records, if you haven't already, they're fire. And they're fire even if you're not a major believer or you're not a fan of gospel music. I think you will like these songs, especially Lean on Me. Lean on Me, I think, and I know y'all are going to trip when I say this nigga's name, but Lean on Me features Bono from U2, Mary J. Blige is on that track, R. Kelly is on that track, and then there's some other young lady who I do not know, but for years, and I'm going to tell you for years, I thought she was a black lady, bro, and it's a white lady. And her voice, oh my God, every time I hear her voice, it gives me the damn chills. Matter of fact, I need to look up her name right now because I want to make sure that I tell y'all, and I want to shout her out, give her respect, because that record is crazy. So let me look this up. What's his name? Franklin, Lean on Me. Who is this record featuring? Let's see, man. They don't have her name, but by the end of the show, I'm going to make sure that I give her a shout out, because the song is fire. But you know what? I wonder if her name is Crystal Lewis. It may not be, but under the info, it says the album is New Nation Project, and it says artist Crystal Lewis and the Kirk Franklin and the family. But that don't really sound right, because like I said, we got Mary J., Bono, we got all of these people on that record. So it's a good record. If y'all get a chance, please go listen to it. Let me know how it makes you feel. Every time I hear her at the end spazzing, hitting those high notes, and then the choir comes in behind it, bro, I'm telling you, I get chills. Chills. So, again, welcome to the show. Let's recap. So Tuesday, what I do? I dragged a racist. We dragged this bum girl who was asking a whole bunch of us on the internet for money. And then I talked about abuse and abusers specifically, and how that made, me feel, how it made some of my friends feel. So one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that I want to give a big shout out to everyone who reached out to me. A lot of people expressed a lot of it was just gratitude. They appreciated that I took the opportunity to speak up about it on the show. I assure you, I did not do this for any type of recognition. I mainly did it because my mother and I have had multiple conversations over the years where she has told me time and time again, and I know eventually she will do this, but she has let me know that she had planned to, write a book or a memoir or something just about her story, and about a lot of the things that she had been through. And a lot of it surrounds the type of abuse that she sustained throughout the entire course of her life. I'm not going to give up her personal details because I think that if she's ever able to write this book and we're able to get it published, I think it will be, there's probably so many already, and I'm sure they're all wonderful, but I just feel, because I know so much of these details, but I also have seen how much my mother has overcome, how strong she is, I really think it would be something that could probably help many, many people survive and thrive in their life going forward. So I won't give up too many of the details, but the topic was near and dear to me just because I've seen what my mom had to go through, what my sister has gone through, and I have so many friends who've gone through it. And then I had a bunch of strangers who have reached out to me. I say they're strangers because I didn't know them, but now I feel like we are all connected. So to those of you that reached out to me, I appreciate you sharing your story. I know that can't be easy. Talking about things that you have been through, pain that you have endured, that probably can't be easy for anybody. I know I'm not a big fan of really talking about my struggles and my pain. Sorry, I gotta push my chair up a little bit. But I definitely can appreciate that. It takes a lot for somebody to come out and then share intimate details of their life and some of the pain that they've been through. But man, I was not kidding about how I feel about abusers. So if you guys think I'm backing off of that, I'm definitely not. Even after the show, I was talking to Cheese, and I was letting her know, like, it's unfortunate that even a person that I know, that I've met out here, that I hoop with on a regular, like, it's crazy to think that I probably would not be able to be his friend going forward, just based on the stories that I've heard about him. And that sucks because I know people can change. I would definitely have a conversation with him. I'd like to check in and see how he's doing, see how he feels on it, hear about his experience and hear what he's done to kind of rectify his, past transgressions. And, I want to know if he has changed his life based on what I've heard. But I also want to make sure that he holds himself accountable, because I feel like if I surround myself with someone who's not going to hold themselves accountable for something that's that serious, like, it would be awful of me to continue being his friend, or acknowledging him in a friendly manner, just because I know, based on the situations that I have been through, like, it just wouldn't be right. That's a big reason why I'm not really cool with my father, because I see how he treated my mother. It's hard for me to have respect for you. So it is unfortunate, but it is a big deal. And I think as men, it is important that we spend our time making sure we don't have other men tearing down our women. And when I say ours, I mean all of them, man. It's not just black, it's not just white, it's not just Asian women, it's all of them. You see women being mistreated by men, you as a man, if you really want to prove that you're a man, step in and say something. It don't even have to get violent. I think just a simple gesture of, walking up to a young lady and just being like, hey, are you okay? Is there anything that you need? Offering that support, but you offer it without the expectation of getting something back. Because this is not a situation where you deserve to have something back because you helped out. You help out because you know it's the right thing to do. If you know one of your homeboys is abusing his girlfriend, you step in and you do something, you say something. The problem with a lot of us men is that a lot of us are scared of the other men that we hang around. I don't understand why. What are you afraid of? If you're afraid of a nigga who you know beats on his girlfriend, like, that's pathetic to me, because why are you afraid of somebody who's so weak? There's no reason to be afraid of a person like that. That person should be afraid of you. And they should be afraid of you because they know that they don't measure up as a man. And the way you make that clear is that in those moments, when you see or you hear about that disrespect, you put it in check. It's the same exact thing that a lot of you brothers ask your white brothers and sisters to do for you in regards to race. You always say, all we want is you just to step up, speak out on our behalf. Well, fellas, our ladies want that same exact thing from us when they're being broken down and beaten. And it's not a time for you to shame them or make them feel bad. Don't give them a hard time for still remaining in a situation. Remember that it may not be as easy or simple as you think for them just to walk away and be done with it. And you also got to remember that some of y'all's homeboys are so damn insecure that they need to have control. They're not going to be able to control you. They can't control their boss if they have one. They can't control all their other friends. So what they do is they spend all day dicking around, and then they go home and they mistreat the one person who's doing everything to make sure that they're, happy and taken care of and all of these things. I know for a fact that most of you guys would not like it if your mother was being treated like that by some dude. And I know, because I've been in the groups where guys are talking about, yeah, if my stepdad do this again, it's going to be something. And I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And you want to fight your stepdad, but you won't fight your friend? Why? Because if you fight him or you say something to him, then you're not in the group with the cool kids. Fam, I assure you, it don't make you cool to protect an abuser. It don't make you cool to protect a rapist. It don't make you cool to protect a racist. None of that shit is cool. It doesn't have to come to violence. Nothing has to become that dramatic. But I think in those moments, you have choices that you can make. And if you choose to ignore or to do something different other than put it in check in that moment, bro, I'm not going to say that you are equally as bad, but you're definitely not helping the situation. Some of your sisters, and when I say sisters, I mean everybody, our women. Some of these women are crying out for help, and they do it right in front of you. And they may not have tears rolling down their face. They may not say the exact words of help me, please help me. But you can tell by the looks on their faces, the way that they always seem down, the way they seem defeated at all times. You can tell. Some of y'all choose not to read the signs. It's not that you don't have the capabilities. You're fully capable of reading the signs. You're choosing not to look at the signs. So you're allowing your sister, your sister-in-law, you're allowing your best friends or your friend's wife, you're allowing them to go through those situations if you know and you don't step up and do something. That to me is pathetic. So fellas, we got to do better. It's just that simple. Stop acting like you can't take time to go out of your way to help someone in need without expecting something back in return. Some of you guys for real are truly pathetic, because the only way that you'll do something for a woman is if she does something for you. And the thing that you want is just something that involves your dick. What's the point of that? And I don't give a shit if I'm blowing up the spot, because I hear how some of you niggas talk, man. That shit is crazy. Only want to help a girl out if she's gonna like massage you and do all these things and feed you, take care of you. You want all these things, but you're not willing to step in on her behalf and make sure that she's treated right, even if she's just your friend, bro. You should treat your friends good. You treat people the way you want to be treated. It's not, oh, treat your girlfriend like this, treat your wife like this, treat your friend like this. No, you treat everybody the way that you want to be treated. It's not that hard. There are plenty of sensitivity trainings that y'all can go to. There's books about this shit that you can read. You guys can go out of your way and educate yourself. Shit. If you can invest all that time in building up your 2K career, my nigga, take a few minutes to evaluate how your behavior and how your actions impact the women in your life. That's the last thing I'm going to say about it. All right, man. We're through the first 30 minutes. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I got a record that we about to play, and it's lit. So, you're going to get into this old school Foxy Brown hotspot, and we're going to listen to a couple other jams, maybe some Plies. It's Plies, baby. We're going to have that playing. And then, I don't know, maybe have some Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. I don't know. But I'm going to take a short break. I'm going to go grab some water, and then we're going to get back into the show. So thank you for tuning in. Again, I am your host, Meemkle Jackson. This is the Meemkle Jackson Show. I love y'all. Appreciate ya. Woo-wee. Man, I got my tea. Oh, I got my water right here. Man, today's been a long day, but it also has been kind of a long week. I'm excited for the weekend because I'm ready to go hoop. That's what I do on the weekends, play basketball. I don't know, man. It's Thursday, so I'm watching 49ers, Cardinals. I probably should turn to the basketball game, but I want to support my boy Sherm. Sherm's out here putting in work. And Larry Fitzgerald. It's always good. If you can ever get a chance to watch Larry Fitzgerald on TV, my man is a beast. I know Jerry Rice is listed as the greatest receiver of all time, but God, Larry Fitzgerald, man, he's got to be up on that list for sure. And he's very, very awesome guy, stand-up guy. I met him one time after a Seahawks game. And it was interesting because most of the players that knew my brother, they don't really speak to all the people that are around him. They just speak directly. And I understand, like, you don't know us. We don't know you. There is no obligation for you to speak to us. But Larry is the type of people that, like, he really will go out of his way to make sure that he acknowledges everybody that's standing close to him. I bring that up because I think it's a big deal to me because there are people that I currently know that play for the Seahawks that I've seen them for 5-6 years and been in rooms with them, shared meals with them, and they barely say a word. I don't know if it's because maybe they're just reserved or maybe they're just being assholes. But Larry was one of those guys where it was like, yo, my nigga is respect. Respect always. So, shout out to Larry, man. They're doing work. The Cardinals are not good, so if you're a Cardinals fan, that sucks for you. But we got a lot of games this weekend. I don't know. We're getting into the middle of the season. Nothing crazy is going on. A lot of people are injured. Trade deadline was weak. Ooh, excuse me. The teams are kind of where they're at. I mean, I think we knew certain teams were going to be disappointing, and they are. Certain teams are rolling. And then, we'll just see how this shit shakes out. NBA is the same way. We are going to talk about the NBA, but not primarily about basketball. We're going to talk about Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns. And we're going to talk about the definition, or at least my definition of fighting. Because what these bozos did last night, and people are hitting me up talking about, you see that fight? Fam, that was not a fight, bro. Oh my gosh. And the people who tell me that, that's how I know y'all have never been involved in a scrap ever in your life. Because you thought those two gentlemen were fighting, and they were not. One buddy tried to poke the other guy's eye out. He literally hit him with the eye gouge. Like, that's what he was doing. That shit is weak. So, we're going to talk about that as soon as these songs get done playing. And then we're going to actually move into some of our other little topics. But, yo, man, I think so far we're killing it. I think, what is this? This is like the episode 6, I think. Yeah, 6 or 7? 6. Yeah, we're 6 deep, man. And it's so far it's good. We're getting a lot of good feedback. I'm actually kind of surprised. I don't want to say that I was doubting myself, but you definitely have to wonder, because I don't have the headphones on and I don't actually go back and watch these videos. I probably should to maybe see what I could critique or work on, but I think about a lot of that during the show. But then I also do listen to feedback of other people. You'll be able to notice from this show, from previous shows, that there is one significant thing that is different. I'll let y'all point it out to me if you watch the video. Leave a comment or send me a text and tell me what you notice is different about it. It's not a physical thing. It's not anything with the show. It's just something that I was doing that I have not been doing tonight, or not as much. So we're trying to make changes, take steps in the right direction. But people are really happy with this, and they like it, and they think it's going to be a success. And I think, the only way that it can is with the support of the people. So again, I'm somebody who is always forever grateful when people do things for me and help me out. People watching it, people reaching out to me, people starting conversation, and people connecting with one another, that's what I'm grateful for, that, because that's the entire reason that this exists. So I'm glad you guys are tuned in, man. This shit is awesome. But we got about 2 minutes left on the song, and then we're gonna jump back into it. Yo, this last little bit, we're loaded with R&B. Oh shit, I might just get on here and sing some of these. We got some Donnell Jones maybe coming up tonight. Ooh, what else we got? We got some Avant. Okay. Oh my God, I didn't even know I had it queued up. This is perfect timing, y'all. I know y'all heard about the Omarion situation. Man, I got the Icebox track ready, and I queued these songs up like 6 weeks ago. It's perfect that that's gonna play tonight. I'm going to tell you about Omarion and Lil Fizz dusty ass too. Oh my God, listen, man. You need to communicate with your friends and the people you spend time with. Don't go behind people's back and try to steal their baby mamas. If you were not friends with these people, I get it, but you got to think, in this situation, these people made money together, they've toured together, they've spent time together, they broke bread together, and now fam is just in my niggas' baby moms now? That's crazy talk. Fizz, what are you doing, cuz? That's supposed to be your boy. But that just kind of goes to show you, some people, they have no respect at all. I feel bad because I don't know Fizz personally, and I don't know the girl either. If y'all have feelings for each other, I get it. But I think that's something to where maybe you should have had a conversation with O, so you could kind of let him know, like, yo, my man, this is how I feel. I can't help it. And y'all could chop it up. But I think if you're just being grimy behind his back, that's cornball shit to me. So we gonna jump back into it right about now. Let's get it. Hey, your man had the Plies playing. That's an old school cut, man. It's Plies, baby. I think on the first episode, I told my one story about Plies. I won't get into that again, but I'll never forget that memory. My nigga, it was an honor to watch you get stomped out at a nightclub. I don't know. Let me rephrase. Stomped out is not correct. He was not stomped out. It was also dark. So we couldn't really see what happened, but it looked like he got washed up out front of the club in Gainesville. That was years and years and years ago. Plies, if you hear this, man, if it wasn't you, feel free to dispute it, but don't step to me, bro. It wouldn't be worth your time, because I'm a nobody. But I'm not gonna, we're not doing all that, because I'll have to, and then you'll have to, and then we'll both be, it's a whole thing. So anyway, what are we about to talk about? Okay, first, I know I said I wasn't gonna go get into the sports talk. This is sports related, but it's not about sports. This morning, a lot of people reached out to me and they said, hey, Nick, did you see Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns get in a fight? And my first instinct was like, okay, we're going back to the old school NBA. Like, people are, scrapping, fighting, doing whatever. Like, yeah, let them know. Talk your talk. Walk that walk. Be about yours. Let them know, like, yo, I know it's early in the season, but we not here for that corny stuff. And then I watched the video. Starts out where they're battling. It's in the heat of the moment, whatever. It's the game. They're two big guys that like to bang, and they play in the post, whatever. Looks like they're giving each other some cheap elbows, and then all of a sudden you see Karl Anthony Towns kind of halfway throw a punch, but then he kind of just wrapped the dude up. And what was weird about that is because then I was like, okay, well, maybe that's how it starts, and they push each other off, and then they actually start fighting. That did not happen. Joel Embiid proceeds to maybe try to poke Buddy's eye out. Then they fell to the ground. And then it looks like Ben Simmons kind of chokes Karl Anthony Towns, but he wasn't. He just was kind of wrapping him up to let him know, like, yo, my man, chill. It's me. Don't continue to wild out. It's good. We're good. Looks like they've only been suspended for 2 games. Joel Embiid was making an ass of himself at the end of the game after he got ejected, He was celebrating and trying to get the crowd hype and doing all this. And then when he did his press conference, he led off by saying, first of all, and this is a direct quote, first of all, I ain't no bitch. Joel, I'm sorry, man, but I'm here to tell you, you're not a fighter either. I won't say that you were a bitch in that moment, but the way y'all was like rolling around the ground, like holding each other, I know it's snuggle season and it's getting kind of cold, especially in Philadelphia and Minnesota. Y'all are probably chilly at night and, maybe you want to just feel some closeness. But in the middle of the game, fam, that's not when you decide to cuddle. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Joel Embiid has a girlfriend. I hope you got approval from her before you tried to get in cat's draws. Because that's what that shit looked like. That looked like wrestling to me. And now that I'm thinking about it, WWE is wrestling. Wrestling is fake, so it's acting. And I think they receive and inflict more damage in the acting portion of WWE than what these MFs did last night. It's crazy. Y'all need to learn what an actual fight is. So don't reach out to me talking about, hey, Nick, did you see these guys fight? And ESPN and all these networks all day were running it. They kept calling it a fight. And that's weird to me. Because when you watch the video, they were cuddling. They were not fighting. And then Ben Simmons felt like he deserved to get some cuddling in too. While we're on a TV timeout, let's just all cuddle real quick. Feel a little bit of closeness, then we'll get back to the game. And that's fine. Y'all do y'all thing. But then apparently after the game, they were doing the whole back and forth on Twitter. And that's what I think is wrong with these new young guys. And I can say that about them because I'm kind of old. I don't look it, but I'm old. These guys are 10 years younger than me. 10 years. Doesn't seem like a lot of time, but it is a lot of time when you think about how when we were young, we used to handle beefs and you would just meet at the rec center after school and you would throw hands and that would be it. Or you have boxing after school, do all these things. But nowadays, it's none of that. It's let me check you on Twitter. Let me check you on Facebook. It's all of these things. And I'm here to tell you, some of you young people are so soft. So soft. Oh my God. It's horrible. They go to Twitter and they're like, one's talking about dude's mom and the other guy's saying like they're sharing the old pictures and memes of Joel Embiid crying. And I'm like, yo, excuse me. No, excuse me again, burping on the show. And don't give a shit. But it was like, yo, man, both of y'all are some suckers. That's all I want to say about it. If y'all really want to fight, set up a charity event right around All-Star break, get some boxing gloves, and go at it for a few rounds. Put on some headgear and rough each other up. Maybe after the season, not at the All-Star break. I'm sure the teams wouldn't allow them to do that. But either way, they don't play each other again till March, and so I'm sure in March, all of this will be brought up again, and they're going to start calling it a fight again. So whenever that game is, I think it's late March, I'm going to be back on this show reiterating to everyone how this was not a fight. They were cuddling, and it looked like Joel just wanted to feel a little bit of closeness, and maybe Cat had something in his eye, and you know how when your girl has like an eyelash on her face and you go to get it for her? Maybe that's what Joel was doing. They try to say he poked him in the eye, but I think he was just being sweet to his guy. You know, nothing better than snuggling with your homies. At least that's how Joel made it seem. Uh, but it was weird, bro. Stop calling that a fight. It was definitely not a fight. Yo, one thing that I do think someone should fight over. If I was this person, I would have fought this dude for sure. If I'm Omarion, Lil Fizz has to run my fade. And I'm going to tell you why. If we ate meals together, we made money together, and if you know anything about the history behind B2K, Marcus Houston, like Chris Stokes, all of that, they've shared pain together too. So even if Fizz wants to say that he was not friends with Omarion, I think that it's one of those things where if you're going to try to snag Buddy's baby moms, like, that's just grimy type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to take one short break because I need to reheat my tea, and then we're going to get into this Lil Fizz Omarion fiasco because I think that this shit is hilarious. And the girl, whatever her name is, one, I think she looks like Lil Fizz. So for the longest time, I thought that was his sister, which I thought was weird because I don't think California allows for incest. I think that's like an Alabama only thing, which we got to talk about that later in the show as well. But it was weird to me to read some of the stuff that people were saying, and then seeing a video where the girl, I forget where, I think her name is April something. April, you're a bum. And I'm saying that specifically to you because you are playing with fire, fam. You're literally messing with your baby daddy's like homeboy, and now he's trying to act like they're not homeboys, which is super weird because we all know that they was friends for hella long, making money together. Like I said, some of the stories with the Chris Stokes thing, and I don't know if you guys heard about all that, but it literally sounds like Chris Stokes was doing some pedo type of stuff, abusing the guys and some of their other female acts and all that type of stuff. And I heard Marcus Houston was in on it too. It was tough for me for a long time to listen to his music. And, you know, Mark, Circles, that's my jam. IMX had Cuts, beautiful, that's my jam. Stay the Night, that's my jam. But now I'm wondering if he was just talking to those little young fellas in the group. It's weirdo stuff. But this girl, she's out of pocket, man. And I feel like some of you females that try to like do all that, playing both sides of the fence and messing with your baby daddy's like best friend or his brother, his homeboy, like I don't think you understand the type of monsters you can potentially create from doing that. Now, your happiness is always key. So I want you to always go with your gut, go with your heart, do what is going to make you happy. But I can't imagine that in a world that has billions of people, that the guy you had to absolutely have was your baby daddy's best friend and like long-standing co-worker, potentially brother, cousin, I don't know. However they have been affiliated, they've literally been attached to each other since they were kids. And y'all remember when came out, that first B2K record, and they was all dancing, and Lil Fizz got on there and he was rapping. I mean, what was he at that time? What did he say? Like, he's only 15. What he need with a wife? He can walk through the mall while he holds your hips, and you can hang off the drop while you pushing the whip. Like, he was talking about all that type of stuff. That's way back in the 2000s. And now you and O got a baby together? So wait, was Fizz the godfather? Or was he the uncle? Now she's smashing her kid's uncle or godfather. Who knows? This whole situation is crazy. But it was weird to think that like there are really people who were that scandalous. I don't want to say just specifically females, because I know there are some men who get girls pregnant and then go date that girl's sister. And that shit is weird. I don't know why y'all do that. If you didn't want the sister or the brother to start with, and you really wanted the other one, you should have called that other situation off early and then done what you really wanted to do. That way you could prevent having drama in the future. Fizz and O, I hope y'all gonna be all right at Christmas time. 'Cause I don't know how that shit's gonna work, man. You probably talking about never breaking bread with these guys again. And shout out to Omarion. He stayed silent the whole time. Uh, it's interesting because I don't know if I could have been as quiet as him. So, like, you know how we started this off, Fizz would have had to see me out in the street. We would have had to fight, maybe to the death, because it's just beyond disrespectful. Like, fam, what are you doing? But again, niggas don't have any shame. They'll always and forever continue to do what they want to do. Everybody makes their choices, so you gotta live with it. April's a bum. Fizz is a bum. And I like that other celebrities have spoken out on it to, like, call him out for his mess, call her out for her mess. And people are really praising Omarion. So this is the perfect night, because I didn't realize it, because I queued up the music for the show. I had put like a couple hundred songs in the queue weeks ago when we started the show. So that way, all I have to do is I just have to come hit play. I don't ever have to go back through and try to queue none of it up. I already did that. Tonight, Icebox will play. And it's fate, because it's just been in the queue. I did not set that up as a complete accident. If you're watching the recording of this on YouTube, you won't hear it. But I just want you to imagine that after we talked about the Lil Fizz thing, that I've already played Omarion Icebox. And actually, the one I'm going to play is the remix with Fab, F-A-B-O, shout out, and U-S-H-E-R, shout out. But I'm happy about that, because it's the perfect song to be played. It's crazy, man. So look, if any of y'all are listening and you're thinking about leaving your baby mama or your baby father for like their brother or their sister or whatever the case may be, don't do that to yourself. You're going to make your entire household messy. You're going to be looking like a whole cornball, an entire trash bag, a whole dumpster. You're going to be all of those things. And people will lose a tremendous amount of respect for you. It's not worth it to break up a happy home. Now, I don't know if Fizz and Omarion's home was happy, but I guarantee you that shit is not happy now. So, we're going to get into this music. And then we're going to come back. We don't have Icebox playing just yet. We got a couple of songs, so it may not be on this break, but it'll probably be on the next one. So tune in so you can hear that Icebox remix, baby. All right, I'm going to be right back. Let's get it. Oh, excuse me. Yo, like 5 times today, the freaking iPad has just started talking. So if you heard someone else talking in here, it's because my iPad is like 15 feet that way. And then all of a sudden, she just started speaking. Bro, I gotta go turn that shit off. So I'm gonna be back in about 2 seconds. Yo, damn iPad. Yo, shut up, yo. I do not want to hear you talk again. You get on my freaking nerves, man. I'll turn this motherfucker off, boy. All right. So I'll turn down. Anyway, what it do, baby? Man, hope y'all ate plenty of candy today. Again, it's October 31st, so it's Halloween. Hope your kids enjoy trick-or-treating if you have little kiddos. I know kids really look forward to that. I hope that every kid was able to get some candy, because it's going to be tough if they got to go back to school tomorrow and some kids got candy and some kids didn't. Parents, please remember that if your school or your class or your kid's classroom allows you to send candy, don't just send enough for them. Send some that will be extra that your kids can give to the teacher at the beginning of school, so that way when they have candy time, that they can pass it out to the kids who may not get candy. I say that because there are so many kids who were less fortunate. They didn't get the opportunity to go trick-or-treating, or their parents weren't available to take them, or they grow up in foster care and they have live in a shitty home where the people are not going to take them out to afford them that opportunity. Please be mindful of that. Your child doesn't need to come to school with a gigantic bag of candy and be selfish and just say it's for them. I understand they walked and they did all these things, but remember, the candy was free, so it's not going to hurt your child if you request that they give some to other kids. It's really not a big deal. Please do the right thing, because it's hard for kids to sit there and have to watch other kids enjoy treats in front of them. It's not fair. So, please, just from your heart, if you would like to. I'm not telling you what to do, although I kind of am. Do the right thing. All right, what are they listening? They're listening to Lil Jon Lovers and Friends. I don't know if you can hear me humming that. Sounds terrible. I just want to give y'all a little bit of music, but it's not ideal. I gotta work on my singing voice, man. If I'm gonna try to make it on like America's Got Talent or something like that, I need to get right. You know, that's why I'm, pinky up. Gotta do it. All right. Let's see. We're gonna let one more song play, and then we're gonna jump into it. I'm gonna talk about a couple things because it's 8. And then we'll jump into some other little articles that I have, things that I saw over the last few days that I wanted to read off, because I thought some of this shit was weird. We got a lady who, I think she lost her life, unfortunately, so RIP to her. It happened during a gender reveal. There was a cake and then something exploded, and I think it killed her. So that's hard to hear. You know, you're so excited to, celebrate the future birth of a child, and you're excited to reveal whether it's going to be male or female, and then all of a sudden, bam, it's done. It's horrible to think about. We also have, what do we have? I had a bunch of them queued up. We got some, sorry, the phone reset. We're going to talk about the fact that every year on Halloween for the last few years, I keep always seeing articles that pop up where they're telling parents to be careful because they think that people are going to put edibles into kids' buckets of Halloween candy. And I'm here to tell you there's no way that a stoner would do that. Why would you give up your edibles to give them to a child? No one's doing that. Edibles ain't cheap. We also got a whole bunch of losers, and I say losers because they're losers, being filmed, being racist, obviously. But one of these is stupid funny because it involves an exorcism. So we got exorcism on deck. We got the explosion. I'm going to talk about how T.I., I don't think he's bashing Iggy Azalea. I think he's finally just telling everybody what it is. She was trash. But he talked about her. I think she's in her feelings. But look, lady, just face it. You're just not as good as you thought you were. And then we also have a police captain who filed a discrimination lawsuit after a black cop was promoted over him. So we're going to talk about privilege, I guess. And then I think that should close us out, man. I think that's pretty much it for the night. We have a lot more music playing tonight just because, like I said, between this show and the last show, the only thing I've really been doing was just basically having conversations with people about Tuesday's show and a lot of the things we talked about on there. So, sorry I don't have 20, 30 topics to throw at you, but I think we're still having a really good show, and I'm having fun. I'm happy that you're here. So, thank you again for tuning in to the Memecool Jackson Show. I am your host, Memecool Jackson. The name is derived from the fact that I love memes. Follow my Instagram if you need memes to cheer you up throughout the course of a day. Follow my IG or add me on Facebook. Add my Snapchat too. My Snapchat is just videos of me singing in the car though. So if you hate to watch people live out their best life and just sing in the car and do car karaoke, my shit is not for you. I would not watch it. A lot of people don't because they say they hate just watching me listen to the music for a minute. And I say to them, well, I don't care. Stop following me because I'm never going to stop. I love my music. And I think Snapchat is a good way to document all the songs that I listen to. And people hit me up and like, yo, I ain't heard that. What's that? Oh, you should listen to this and da-da-da-da. It's a good way to connect with people because I've been able to listen to new artists just based on the fact that people reach out to me on my Snapchat on the videos that I'm singing on. So it's all about connecting with people, man. So that's what I'm here for. But our next song has started, so let's just jump back into it. Hey, your boy is back. Man, I love saying that. Cut that shit off, DJ. Yo, you guys know what my DJ name is? I'm DJ Cold Cuts with a Z because I like sandwiches. So we've had some good records playing. The record you heard starting up with some Royce da 5'9", Gotta Know. That's a classic record, but I'm not going to play that. It might run whenever we go to the next break, but it's not going to play right now. So, man, let's jump into it. Man, again, it's October 31st, so it's Halloween. I've noticed for the last few years around this time, I always see articles pop up that come from news outlets where they say, parents beware, because apparently they think that a lot of stoners are exchanging Snickers and Crunch Bars and Reese's for pieces of edible candies. I feel like these articles are bullshit. And I'm only saying that because I feel like if I'm going to take time to go to the dispensary and I'm going to pay the money for edibles, knowing that you only get so many per package and they're not cheap whatsoever, why would I put those in some innocent kid's little Halloween candy bag? Now, there is an article here that I looked at today where it says, Mom discovers bag of heroin in her son's Halloween candy. Urges other parents to beware. Yeah, you think? If my son or daughter comes to the house with heroin, one, hold on. Did she know that it was heroin? Or did, the police inform her of that? Because now I have some questions for Mom. How do you know that it's heroin? But the edible thing I thought was weird because when news outlets report that, in my head I'm thinking, well, last time I bought edibles, the bag itself was $25, right? But there was only it was 10 pieces in there. And if you follow me on Facebook, y'all remember that was that day I was posting about how I ate 4 of them and they didn't do nothing. So half the bag almost was done on day one, within the first few hours of it. So knowing that they're that expensive, I can't imagine that other people are just like, here, little kid, take these peach rings or take this brownie. They're not doing that type of stuff, man. That's crazy. I think the news puts that type of information out because they want to spook people. They want you to be cautious, but they know that you, as a consumer, you're probably tired of just hearing some random person saying, hey, be aware, be careful. So they have to make up things to kind of frighten you a little bit, so that way you'll take it a little bit serious, which again is a little bit ridiculous because who the F is really giving away their edibles to small children? And plus, the wrappers on those things are so tight, I don't even think a kid would open it. It would probably be one of those things you try to pull on it for a couple minutes and then end up throwing it to the side anyway because they can't open the shit. I have trouble opening them. Can't imagine what I would do if I was 13. Be crazy. Which brings me to my next point. I hope no kids over the age of 12 were arrested tonight for trick-or-treating because I talked about this last week on the show, I think. But there are literally some places across America who are having kids arrested if they're older than the age of 12. Apparently, we have decided in America that for one night a year, we're only allowing kids under the age of 12 to receive free candy. And the only way an adult can receive the free candy is if they're walking around with a child who is under the age of 12. Anybody else will be arrested. And depending on what state you live in, you never know. And depending on your race, maybe you're getting shot. Who the F knows? I had a really good friend of mine today, one of my best friends, and she says to me, she said, you going trick-or-treating tonight? And I said, couple things. One, there's no way I'll be able to do that because I don't have a child to walk with me. Also, the second reason is I'm definitely not doing it because I don't want to be out in the weather walking around just for a couple of pieces of janky ass candy. If I want candy that bad, I'll take my fat ass up to the Safeway and I'll just buy it on my own. But the third reason was that because trick-or-treating happens in the evening time, it's too much risk for me to walk around these areas at night based on my skin color. I truly believe that. And if I already know that if you're over the age of 12, you're probably getting arrested, I can't imagine what they'll do to me if I'm knocking on the door asking for candy. So there was no trick-or-treating for my black ass tonight. It was not going to happen. I do not think stoners are putting edibles in kids' Halloween candy. If this mom is for real about heroin being in her son's trick-or-treat bag, that's insane. But then I also want to know, how do you know that it's heroin, lady? That concerns me. But please be cautious. I remember I used to hear when I was a kid that we had to check all the pieces because people used to put razor blades in the candy, which I'm like, fam, if you're really opening up the main bag and then taking out pieces and putting razor blades in the candy, like, you're doing way too much, man. Just give the kids the free candy and call it a day. All that other shit is unnecessary. Crazy the world we live in. I cannot believe that. So anyway, I did talk about how we have another lady who has now been filmed for being an idiot. And it's not a race thing, which is good for her. Because usually I kind of blast these people who become famous for, shouting out racial slurs to people and then being caught on camera. But this lady is funny. So the video says, and I'm watching the video right now, but it says that this woman is being filmed and she's being tased by a cop because he's trying to arrest her and she's trying to perform an exorcism on him. Yeah, an exorcism. The thing where like a priest will hold up a Bible or like a cross and then say the power of Christ compels you or something, and then the person's head's supposed to spin around. I don't know if you've ever seen The Exorcist, but that's how anytime I hear the word exorcism, I always envision that somebody's going to be walking upside down, maybe on the wall, head spins around, they're in one of those little house on the prairie nightgowns and shit. But this lady was like, yo, I'm not going to jail today. So before this dude tries to take me in, let me see if I can pull the devil out of him and pull the demon out of him and get him on a new path to Christ. Apparently that's what she does. She literally has her hand up in the video and she's shouting out commands at him. Obviously he keeps his distance. He's letting her know, yo, this is what time it is and what's about to happen. She gets too close and then she gets hit with the taser. Let's see. What is this lady's name? Yo, they're lucky they didn't put it on here. I'm surprised. They just have her listed as woman. And maybe they just were disrespecting her because she didn't have the cross. All she just had was her hand up. And so maybe she didn't deserve to have her name posted because you didn't perform the exorcism right. If you've ever seen any of the shows or any of the movies, you need either the Bible or the cross. Your little janky ass hand is not going to pull the devil out of him. But his hand was able to pull his taser off his belt and light your ass up with however many volts it takes to shock the piss out of somebody. I can't see if she wet herself, but I can't imagine, based on the way she hit the ground, that she was able to maintain full control of all her bodily fluids. So she probably did wet herself. That's all speculation. If anyone's able to confirm, that would be greatly appreciated. But shout out to that lady, this strange white lady who refused to go to jail. Again, this is another one of these things where some of these people, I'm just baffled at the things they do when they're having interactions with cops. Why is the first thing that you think of is to try to perform an exorcism? That's some weirdo shit. I mean, it is October. I mean, today is Halloween. It wasn't Halloween when this happened, but I could see how within the month, anything is fucking possible. Excuse my language. Let's see what else we got. So I also talked about, we had a woman in Iowa. She passed away due to a gender reveal gone wrong. And I wanted to talk about this because I thought this was crazy based on, I feel like every week there's a different gender reveal video. And for a long time, it was just people, like, I don't know, the ones that I always remember consistently seeing were where they would put balloons in a box, and then the future mother and father would open the box, the balloons fly up, and it's like, it's pink, it's a girl, it's blue, it's a boy, it's super cool. It was only cool for like the first couple times I seen it. And then when you had people who were like, oh, well, I want to do my own gender reveal video, and I want to do something that's going to one up the last one. That way I can get more likes. So most of the time, these people are trying to get likes. I don't know if that's this lady's situation, but it just seems a little strange to have something inside of a cake that can potentially explode. So it says an Iowa woman has passed away after an explosion at a gender reveal did not go according to plan, authorities say. According to CNN, the 56-year-old woman was pronounced dead at the scene. This is last Saturday in the city of Knoxville. I guess they're launching a full investigation into her passing and found a gender reveal announcement that resulted in an explosion, and the woman was hit by pieces of debris. Other articles that I read suggested that they had something in the cake that I guess was supposed to like reveal what the gender was. And I think that is the thing that ended up unfortunately taking her life. So the article that I currently have does not have the lady's name. But RIP, Miss Lady, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's supposed to be a great moment. I'm assuming by her age that she was not the person having the baby, so she might have just been grandma. And that really is shitty for the future baby, whether it's, a boy or a girl, because now they won't have a grandparent. But look, man, y'all gotta chill on these gender reveals. It's okay to just be like, yo, it's a boy, it's a girl, and leave it at that. All this extra stuff, putting explosive devices in cakes and all that, that'll get you hurt. And it could potentially get you killed. So, shout out to the family. I hope you have a very healthy baby. I mean, and when you lose life, there's always a way to gain life to some degree. And so you lose this lady, but hopefully you guys have a wonderful, healthy baby that can carry on your family's legacy. And I hope everything will be all right. But shout out to that family. This next one I thought was hilarious because I've never heard of somebody filing a lawsuit on a coworker because they didn't get a job or because that person got promoted over them. I'm reading this article where it says a Delaware police captain files a racial discrimination lawsuit after a black cop was promoted to police chief instead of him. So, for all you dusty-ass white guys out there, here's one of your brethren making you look real stupid. Fam, if you didn't get the job, it's okay. Maybe you weren't as qualified. Maybe you didn't test as well. Maybe your attitude wasn't as good. It happens. I've been passed up for jobs just based on those specific reasons. Didn't matter that I had all the skills that probably qualified me to be a better fit on paper than the other person. But there are certain things that you may not come equipped with that people might be looking for. Sometimes attitude is one of those things. I know that's one of my biggest struggles, is that I have a bad attitude sometimes. I'm a hard worker, and I can get a lot of shit done. And I get a lot of results. I win a lot. But sometimes my bad attitude is what makes me lose a lot. I don't know what this dude's deal is, but this shit is hella funny. So, white cop is upset that a black cop was able to receive the police or chief of police job instead of him. And so now he's filing a discrimination lawsuit. That is crazy. This is weird, man, because
also notes Spicer has applied for the current vacancy atop the Dover
it
Police
sounds like the guy applied for the job.
Captain David Spicer alleged.
This guy's name is David Spicer, and I guess he's alleging that he feels like he was discriminated against, like I said, because the black cop got the job over him. And I hope that you people are not out here thinking that this is the way you solve your problems. You got to be okay taking L's sometimes. White guys, I'm talking to you especially. Stop feeling like you are owed something. I get it. A lot of people work hard and then they don't get the things that they feel like they deserve. But you know what you do? You find a way to find a way. That's it. Going to sue somebody, you're going to sue that guy, or you're going to sue the police department for what? Because ultimately now what he's done is he's probably alienated himself to the point where he'll never be looked at for another promotion again. It'll be hard for him to go to another police department because now you carry that type of baggage where you are that person that when you don't get your way, you're going to go to the extreme to make everybody else within your workplace uncomfortable. And I'm even talking to myself in this situation because I'm sure that as a man, I've been an asshole, and I know that I've had conversations with previous supervisors where I've been like, well, I should get this because I did this and da-da-da-da-da. And, you know, sometimes it literally came down to the fact that I had a bad attitude. And that's why I didn't get the job. The police chief job is a position of leadership. You apparently, Mr. Spicer, were not cut out to be a proper leader. You were not in their plan. You were not the person that they envisioned leading the entire police force. It wasn't you, fam. That's okay. You got to suck it up. You put on a happy face and you go and you do the job, your job, to the best of your abilities, and you help impact and change things for the better. The whole reason you signed up for the job was to protect and serve, fam. So go back to doing that. But instead, you want to go try to sue these people. So now it's going to be on some FU type of stuff. And you just made your life harder. Excuse me. I'm burping a lot today. Too much tea, man. But anyway, that shit is just completely obnoxious. Just another example of, you know, a white guy, or just, I'm tired of saying that. Just another example of somebody who feels like they have a certain amount of entitlement and privilege, and they were expecting something, it didn't go their way, and rather than just take it, be understanding, you know, self-reflect and find a way to get better and attack the next opportunity, rather than do that, they're finding a way to, you know, undo what they feel is a mistake, rather than just taking the L and moving on. Like, fam, in this situation, this is the game. The game has now ended. You lost the game. Just because you want to stay afterwards and play does not mean that everybody is going to do that. We're not going to do that just because you feel like you should have won. The game is over. Go home. Go home, relax, shake it off, and figure out how to get better for the next game. That's it. It's really that simple. Look to your next opportunity. What is the point of sitting around crying and being upset? And now you want to sue somebody? You know how much money you're going to burn and time you're going to burn by suing? And try, like, what's going to happen? You think you're going to sue and then get that job? That's not going to happen. Even if there's some wrongful doing, or there's, you know, collusion, or whatever, the, you know, if it's nepotism, if it's any of those things, even if any of that stuff is real, it will just mean that they'll remove that person from that role. You won't get the job either, and then they're going to bring somebody in from a third party to actually make the hire. And it wouldn't be either of y'all. It's going to end up being somebody else who comes from somewhere else. And then when that person gets there, they're going to always know that you were the person who caused this. So even though you helped them get a job, they're not going to do right by you. They're going to make sure that you understand that this is not the way business is handled. You will never get what you want in those situations. Why are you opting to sue? There's so many people that are like that. They can't just take the licks. They can't just take the L's. They got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing because they feel like they're entitled and they deserve so much. Like, fam, you get what you earned. Self-reflect, figure out how to get better, move on to the next play. It's that simple. Whew. What do we got? Hey, are you guys Iggy Azalea fans? Does anybody like Iggy Azalea? Her music is absolutely trash. I think she is slightly attractive. Obviously, it's been told to me that she has had work done. So obviously, to some degree, there's an element of fakeness to her. I never bought her as a rapper. No offense. You just don't fit the mold considering you're a white girl from Australia. None of your songs were like rap songs, catchy hooks and all that type of stuff, but you just were not all that great. I bring that up because recently, T.I., T.I.P., he went on the Breakfast Club. He did an interview, and they asked him, and I think he's been asked before, what he felt like. I don't want to say it was his biggest mistake. I think the way somebody asked him the question was something around, like, what do you feel is like the one thing that you still have left to prove to like solidify your legacy, something to that effect. And I think T.I.'s response is that, and he did clarify in the end that his thing was not to bash her, but he said that one of the things that he wanted to do to make sure he was able to cement his legacy was be successful in finding a female act to like carry that, like that way. He wants to, I mean, I'm sure everybody wants to try to find a way to create a Nicki Minaj or a Remy Ma or, a Cardi B type of act. Somebody that people will buy into, someone that can also sell albums and make money, but somebody that it's real and it's not gimmicky, it's none of that. T.I. does go on to say that he felt like she did have a little bit of talent, but she also had a lot of help. But he did basically kind of imply that she was a mistake to some degree, only because he feels like that once she got hot and once she realized that white people liked her, that she had no further need or use for the black community, which is basically how she was able to get famous from the beginning. It's fine if you get all these commercial deals and you start doing all these shows and people want to like throw things at you, because that's what happens in entertainment. Once you start to get hot, everybody wants a piece because they want to figure out how to ride your wave and generate money off of you while you are afloat. Once you start to sink, they jump ship and they land on another boat, and then they continue to take off while you beg for your life and try to tread water, which is what I think Iggy Azalea is doing now, because I don't know what she does. The last time I heard of her, she just was showing her ass on Instagram, literally ass out. And that's fine, girl. If that's how you're getting your money and that's what you're doing, and I appreciate you want to be sexy, you are a beautiful woman. But if you ever thought that you had serious rap talent, you were sadly mistaken. T.I. makes that very clear. He did clear up his comments, but I thought it was funny because I saw somebody try to say that Tip was being unfair to Iggy. And I'm tired of people saying that we're not being fair to these artists. Listen, we don't have to like your shit. I don't have to like you. Some of you are not very good. Some of you are only here because right now you are hot and people want to talk about you. And then in a year from now, no one's going to care. I had people saying that I was a hater and that I was throwing shade because I said that I thought Lizzo was just okay. To me, she is just okay. Music is okay. It's a great message. I'm all about female empowerment and positive body image and doing all those things. Salute to you. But if you're ever going to get me to say that she's better than so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so, the answer is no, no, no. It's not happening. And it's the same thing with someone like Iggy. Iggy was a gimmick. She was not a real artist. She was somebody that was put in front of us to sell records and create the illusion that we had artists from different backgrounds that could come in and be successful in the game. And that was not true. We tried to classify her as a rapper. She was not a rapper. She was a gimmick. She was the second coming of a Vanilla Ice. If you still truly believe that Vanilla Ice is a real rapper, you are sadly mistaken. And I'm sure he probably would argue that, and he considers himself a rapper. And I want you to do that. Be proud of yourself. Claim what you are. Be that. But in regards to the way we structure rap and the type of standards that we have for our rappers, there is a reason why your careers were short-lived. You were not good rappers. Entertainer, rapper, two different things. You were able to make a song and create and build something that became entertaining. You were able to get people's ear, and they wanted to listen to it, and it was entertaining for a moment in time. Then when they asked you to do something else, you were not able to create that same magic because you don't have the skills and or talent to maintain a position within that genre and in that field of work. It's just not for you. I was a rapper once. It was not for me. I was terrible. I'm still terrible. Tried the singing thing too. I'm terrible at that. Making music is not my strong suit. Writing music, I'm pretty good at. I can write some stuff for people. That's pretty easy. But that's because I have some writing skills. Grammar, punctuation, terrible. But the message, I'm fired. It's not for everybody. Milli Vanilli, trash. Vanilla Ice, trash. I'm sorry. I know, and people in Seattle are probably gonna hate me. I'm not saying he's trash. I know he's done a lot for the rap game. I'm going to say this specific song I'm not a fan of. I don't think Baby Got Back is a good rap song. I barely think it's a good song. It shouldn't be a song. It's not that good. But people love it. These are people that had our ears for a brief moment in time. We paid them handsomely, and now we've asked them to go away. Iggy seems like she's frustrated with Tip's comments, and she makes it seem as if everything he said was not true and that she's a great artist and that she's prepared to do this and do that. But it's like, girl, you haven't even had a record without the backing of a T.I. And T.I. took a chance on you. No other big name rapper is going to ever take that chance on you. It's not going to happen. And you're basically a running joke. People make fun of you in their songs, and you've literally just sat on the sidelines and let it happen. If you have other business ventures, I get it. That's great. Like I said, I hope you kill it in life. I hope whatever you do, you feel good about at the end of the day, and I hope you can sleep well. But fam, you should not get upset if people are disrespecting your rap career. You're lucky we're referring to it as a career. You had a rap job. You had a part-time rap job. So basically, if rap is the food industry, you worked fries at Arby's. I'm not even gonna say McDonald's. You worked fries at Arby's, fam. You're talking about the entire restaurant industry. That's how far down you are. You were on fries at a random Arby's location in Arkansas, South Arkansas. You were not very good. There's a lot of people who we put on pedestals that are not good. Again, this Kanye album, you guys are fucking killing me. Excuse my language, but please stop trying to sell me on the fact that Kanye's gone gospel with it. I hate that. Who else? Someone was telling me about someone the other day. Who was it? Because I went in on Buddy. What was this guy's name? He is trash. I mean, MGK is another one. He's trash. I don't know why people like that. Trash. But if you haven't already heard Young Gravy, go check that out. Now I'm playing. Young Gravy is better than Iggy Azalea. And I want y'all to go listen to Young Gravy. Y-U-N-G Gravy. Go check out his records, and I'm telling you, that stuff, which to me seems like an entire joke, I think it's just comedy, I think that stuff is better than Iggy Azalea trying her absolute hardest. It's terrible. Let me get off that, man. I feel bad because I'm like going in on her, but it's just one of those things, man. I feel really strongly about music. I don't like when people try to put music in front of my face and try to tell me that it's good when I know that it isn't. And then they get frustrated. Like, was I supposed to like Lizzo? Was I supposed to like Iggy Azalea? Like, I don't have to like these things. Like, I mean, y'all are really going to hate me. I don't even think Beyonce is all that good. She has some cuts, don't get me wrong. I think she's a great entertainer. But when I think of R&B, female R&B singers, bro, she's not even in my top 5, bro. She might barely even be in the top 10. I don't feel bad about that. But she obviously she's a killer. But some of that is because of how we elevate certain people. It's okay to not like people's music. It's okay to not like people's artwork. It's okay to not like people's movies. Like, y'all gotta stop trying to like cancel certain people for not liking all the people that you like. That's horrible. All right, let's get off of that. Let's get into something more serious. Man, put some hot sauce on my burrito, baby. R.I.P. Mr. John Witherspoon. Y'all might know him as Pops on Friday. He's everybody's dad on every black something. He was Sean and Marlon Wayans' dad on their show when they were young. I remember he was in Field Mob's music video. I remember that. He was in Jay-Z's video. What's the I'm a hustler, baby. I just want you to know that record. He was in that video. I remember that. That's way back, man. John Witherspoon, he was the guy, man. Honestly, watching him on TV shows and watching him on movies, he's one of the black actors that I feel like a lot of us as black young men, that was as close as we got to like having a dad. I will say we, because a lot of the life lessons that I learned from male figures came from TV and movies and shit like that. But John Witherspoon, I think he was age 77, and he's still being hella funny, man. I mean, you think next Friday, Friday after next. I mean, bro, he's in my favorite movie of all time, House Party. I remember because the kids are too loud at the party, and he ends up, he goes to call the cops on him, but he's like out the window. Like, what's he say to the dude? He said, he's talking about the guy's hair. He said, boy, you got a big old watermelon head. And I remember I've been using that joke on people for years. So I want to say somebody got a big ass head. I say, you got a watermelon head. That's where I got that from. So R.I.P. to this great man, John Witherspoon, man. Dead at age 77. And that's crazy because I know we were supposed to get another, I think it's supposed to be the last Friday or something. We're supposed to get that movie. I wonder how that's going to be now. I hope now more than ever that they do the movie so that way they can pay the ultimate respects to Mr. Witherspoon, because he's a comedy legend. There's so many people that know him. There's so many people that are torn up by this. It's just, it's sad, man. We're losing a lot of people this year. I mean, we lose a lot of people every year. People obviously pass every day. But some of these people that we lose, especially, you know, and I say our community, especially in the black community, these are people that, you know, we look up to, you know, we care about, and they maintain value with us, you know, because like I said, not all of us had present fathers growing up. It is what it is. So R.I.P. to that great man. Man, we're gonna miss the jokes, man. I probably need to rewatch all the Friday movies this weekend and all the shows, man, because he's stupid funny. Man, I love that guy. R.I.P. to him. Let's see. What happened yesterday? Well, I mean, the Nationals won the World Series. You'll notice that I don't sound excited about that because it's baseball. It was a good series. I actually watched the game. It was pretty good. Astros were up 2-0 for a little bit. And then Greinke, I think, got all the way to the 7th inning. Or was it the 7th? It was, no. I think he went 5. Maybe 5 or 6. I don't know. But then he gave up a home run to Rendon, and then A.J. Hinch took him out. And there's all this speculation over why he didn't put Garrett Cole in to close out. And then it's a whole thing. But the Astros ended up losing. Nationals pulled it out. Now, like I said, it means that the Seattle Mariners are the only team in Major League Baseball history that have not been to the World Series. But shout out to the Nationals. Like I said, if you were out in that D.C. area, your basketball team sucks. Your WNBA team is decent. Your hockey team is decent. And now your baseball team has now won the World Series for the first time since 1924. But your basketball team sucks. They did put up, so this was also crazy. In the NBA last night, the Houston Rockets played the Washington Wizards. And that game ended with a final score of 159-158. So it's kind of a sign that the Rockets are going to not be as good as we thought, because they gave up 158 points to the Washington Wizards, who are literally playing with guys that they're probably pulling out of the crowd. Like, if the Washington Wizards resemble any team from any basketball movie ever, they remind me of the Flint Tropics. If you've ever seen Semi-Pro Will Ferrell, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The one good player they have is Bradley Beal, so he's what's his name? Spunky Malone or whatever his name is. Well, Andre 3000's character, that's Bradley Beal, and then all the rest of the bums on the team are all those other characters, people who can't hoop. I know it's the NBA, and I know they're professionals, and they obviously put up 158 points last night, but they are projected to maybe only win about 20 games this season, if that. They're going to be one of the worst teams in the league, and that's pretty disappointing for their city. But at least you guys won the World Series, so Monday or maybe even tomorrow, you guys are going to get a parade. So shout out to all my people that's over in D.C. I know they are very happy about their team, their baseball team, finally getting that dub. Let's see, man. Yo, it's already 8:30. Oh, shit. Hope you've been stuffing your fat faces with candy. I'm just saying your faces are fat because I'm imagining everybody who's listening to this with a mouthful of candy. I'm not saying that you are fat because I'm not body shaming you. I only body shame myself, even though I did do a home workout before I started the show. And if you're watching the video, you see me kind of flexing right now. Yo, I'm looking like a whole snack up in here. Yo, this is crazy, man. I got look at them shoulders, boy. Anyway, I'm going to take a short break. We're going to finally get in to the song that everybody's been waiting for, which is Omarion Icebox. I want to play this because, like I said, this Omarion situation cracks me up because there's hella memes floating around and people are talking about it. It's wildness, man. So thank you for tuning in. You're listening to the Memequel Jackson Show. I am your host, Memequel Jackson. It is Thursday, October 31st. Holy shit. As of tomorrow, we only have 2 months left in the year, man. I hope you guys are getting your New Year's resolutions prepped. I hope you're saving your money for all your Christmas gifts, and I hope you are hitting the gym hard now. That way, the third week of November, whenever we hit Thanksgiving and Black Friday, everybody's going to get fat again. So get your gym memberships ready and get ready to, hopefully cruise into the holidays and start that new year off right, because we don't got much time left in 2019. Oh, also, I feel like a lot of you wronged me this year, so I'm expecting some apologies. Pull up immediately. But let's get it cracking. We got Omarion Icebox, and then we're going to have some Avant, and then I'm going to be right back, bitches. Man, San Francisco just pulled it out, man, 28-25. The game was looking kind of like a blowout. I mean, Arizona's 3-5, but fuck, this freaking 49ers are 8-0 right now. And I know that one of my friends, I got to send him a message right now, man. I cannot even believe this. He's the biggest 49ers fan that I know. So I'm going to request him, and when he adds me, I'm going to send him a message and be like, fam. Because I know he talked about this about 2 or 3 years ago when I used to see him at my old job all the time. And he always said, yo, we're a few pieces away, and we're going to put it together, and then we're going to start having good seasons, potentially win a Super Bowl. And that was probably like in 2015, 2016, and now we're in 2019, and look at this shit, man. They are damn 8-0. I cannot believe it. Crazy as shit. John Lynch has got to be happy. 49ers fans got to be happy. Seahawks fans have to absolutely hate it. Y'all suck anyway. But anyway, you got the Icebox playing. It's almost 8:40. Man, we've just been breezing through this show, bruh. I love this shit. I think I'm built for it. I need to work on some things. Mainly, I want to limit the amount of foul language that I use on the show. I don't want it to be oversaturated. Sometimes I just get a little passionate and I just be shooting off at the mouth. But if I'm really trying to turn this into something, I gotta tighten up, man. I ain't gonna change the way I dress, the articles that I pick, the way I view the stuff. I'm not gonna do all that, but I want to clean myself up a little bit. That way I can start to trend upward. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you got some time, man, and you're watching this on the recording, definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button, tell all your friends. Add all my social media pages, my Instagram, Memecool Jackson, my Snapchat. It says Nikki Joey, but it's also Memecool Jackson. My Facebook, Memecool Jackson. And we got a whole page that's specifically built for the show and the podcast. And then also, Track Talk Radio, man. Tuesdays and Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can catch me. That's what I'm literally doing right now. The show is almost over now, but then after this, I'm going to upload the video. And then we're going to be lit, man. So, yo, this shit's pretty awesome. I love doing it. I enjoy being here with y'all every week. I feel like I've been doing this forever, but this is literally like the 6th time that I've done it. So, well, no. I think this is like the 8th time that I've done it, but it's the 6th recording of it. Because I didn't record the first 2. Oh, no, I did. So it's only 6. I'm tripping. But yeah. We might have more projects in the future. I've actually had some people reach out to me who say they're going to start up some podcasts and some shows and all that type of stuff. So you might see me featured on some things too. So if you like how funny I am and you know people that do stuff like this and you'd like to see me interact with them and provide my perspective and opinion, hey man, tell them to reach out. We'll link up. I'm down to talk and have conversations with any and everybody, no matter what the topic is, because I just love to talk and run my mouth. And people, it's funny because people have reached out to me. They said they've been very surprised by that because I normally do not talk a whole lot when you see me in person. My answers are very short. When I talk over text, I don't really reply a whole ton unless you engage me in conversation. So just spark it up, man, and then I'll jump in with you and then we can chop it up for hours and hours and hours. But if you hit me with the WYD and that's it, then don't expect to get a whole lot back from me because that's just kind of how I am. So let's see, should we let one more song go? Yeah, I'm gonna let one more song go and then we're gonna jump into it. I got a couple more things that I want to chat about. Yo, what the hell? Excuse me. Wildin', bro. We're gonna talk about this. I'm about to talk to you about a guy. It looks like last month he hit his supervisor at his job in the back of the head with his keyboard. Oh, but this is like back in May. This is crazy. I mean, the guy's 22, of course. Yo, this is crazy. I don't know. This sounds weird because I can't imagine that he just one day woke up and just smacked the dude. Damn. And oh my God, he told police. So he has to use a translator. So he didn't even speak English. Told police that he was having a bad day and been under a lot of pressure with work. He also said that the supervisor had threatened to fire him in the past due to work-related issues. Oh my God, we gotta dive into this, man. Listen, if you're going through it right now at your job, I want to assure you, the answer is not to smack your supervisor in the back of the head with the keyboard or strike them with any objects whatsoever, not even your own fist. I implore you, do the right thing. If you're having a bad day, take the day off. That's why I think it's important that people try to pick up side gigs. That way, if your main job is stressing you out, you don't have to worry about forcing yourself to stay there just to make the money. Go Uber, or go do Lyft, or, take it back to the old school. Get a paper route. cut grass, do maintenance for people at their homes, do something that you feel like can relieve your stress. Because sometimes being stuck at a job all day will push you to this point where you want to smack your supervisor, and it's not worth it, bro. It is not worth it at all. So I'm gonna read this off because I think that this shit was so funny. Yeah, this is a crazy article. I had seen this earlier and I was like, I don't know if I want to talk about this, but then somebody else reposted it. So I definitely got to say something. We'll talk about this last thing and then we're going to close out, man. I'm going to put some more music back on and then I'm going to get ready to go actually sit and chill and watch some of this basketball game. It looks like we got Denver Nuggets versus the Pelicans, man. I know y'all hate the sports shit, but get over it. Let's see, let me get my mouse ready. Mic is on. Yeah. Hey, your boy is back. Let's see, man. I got one more little article that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So I saw this today and I thought to myself, maybe I should talk about this, but then I was kind of thinking maybe I won't because the article is old. But I was thinking based on some of my past experiences as far as being frustrated with my supervisor at my job. I always like to reflect back and think to myself, man, I'm glad that I'm not the type of guy that would want to spaz out and like smack somebody at my job, because there are people that are like that because they allow their frustrations to get the best of them. So in May of this year, it sounds like police were dispatched to Genco / FedEx in York, where it says, well, I think this is in New York, excuse me. The article just says York. No, it's Pennsylvania. That's why it says York. So in York, Pennsylvania. So they were responding to an assault that had occurred. It says that the reporting party was the operations manager of the facility, who was not involved in the incident and told police that no EMS was needed. It sounds like when the officers arrived on scene, they met with the victim, who said that he was the supervisor for this 22-year-old named Nestor Reyes. It's Nestor Reyes Rodriguez. Excuse me. Sorry, Nestor. Didn't mean to not get your name right, fam. It says that he was the man who was allegedly responsible for the assault. The victim then told the police that he approached Rodriguez and advised him of his duties and all the stuff that he wanted him to complete for that day. And then it said that Rodriguez then became confrontational and eventually picked up a computer keyboard and hit him in the side of the face and head. It also says that Rodriguez used a handheld barcode reader to strike the supervisor in the side of the face and head as well. So my man was just grabbing and just smacking Buddy with the stuff. It's just weird, and I don't know why my hand just did that, because that's not how you smack people. So if you're watching the video and you saw me do that, it looked like I was doing the whip and the nay-nay. I'm sure that's not what he did. He probably, he turned it over quick, smacked him. But it says that officers spoke with Rodriguez using a translator because he didn't speak English. It says that he told police that he was having a bad day and had been under a lot of pressure with work. He also said that the supervisor had threatened to fire him in the past due to work-related issues. I'm not sure what happened with this because the last little bit of it just says Rodriguez was cooperative with police and was advised through the interpreter not to have any contact with the victim. So I want to say this because I think I've learned over the last few years about the importance of self-care and making sure that you take care of yourself. And that way you're less likely to bring a lot of your outside problems into the workplace. If you participate in a lot of self-care activities and you keep yourself refreshed and in good spirits, then you're able to show up to your job and you're able to perform your duties at 100%, or at least as close as you possibly can get to 100%. And I think a lot of jobs are starting to loosen up and they're getting on board with the idea of self-care because they're starting to understand the importance of mental health and the type of impact that it has on people on a daily basis. I will take this moment to shame some of my previous employers. I won't call them by name, but I genuinely think that although they said they valued the fact that I expressed my concerns over, having some mental health and letting them know that, or having mental health struggles sometimes, and letting them know that there might be some days where I might be a little bit stressed and I might need to take some time to myself, or maybe I'll be a little closed off and a little bit quiet. Not all employers are respectful to that fact. And I don't even want to say it's necessarily the employer. Sometimes it might just be the supervisor and the type of person that they are. It's not everybody. Sometimes it's just it's some people. It sounds like Mr. Rodriguez has had some struggles at work and just was under a lot of pressure. I can't imagine what life must be like for somebody that does not speak English as their first language. Someone who probably feels like, and you never know what his circumstances are with his family. He might be under the extreme pressure and obligation to go to work to provide for a large family. And so you can only imagine the type of stress that is accompanied by that. It does not excuse his behavior in any way, because obviously you can't smack people in the head with the keyboard and things at your job. You can't smack your supervisor. You shouldn't really smack anybody unless they get too close or they smack you. Then feel free to put in work. But Mr. Rodriguez, man, to some degree, my heart goes out to you, because if you were under extreme pressure and stress, and I can't imagine that he just hit the guy for no reason. So I have to assume that guy is probably under a lot of stress and pressure from his manager and supervisor. He has to communicate directives to certain people. There probably are already struggles based on the fact that the gentleman that he's communicating these directives to cannot speak English very well. So I'm sure that when he approaches him, there probably is always an attitude, because he already knows that there's going to be some sort of struggles. It probably puts this man in this position to end up getting hit in the head with the keyboard. Again, Nestor, you didn't do the right thing, pal. But at the same time, hearing him say he's under a lot of pressure at work, he's just having a bad day, I do know how that feels. So I want to stress to you, if you are listening, please make sure that you take care of yourself. It's okay to take the day off. If you need to, get a side job, deliver with Uber, or go the old school way, get a paper route, go cut grass, go do something. Find ways to limit your stress, and find ways to find relief if possible. That way, when you do go to your job, you're not as stressed and you're not as overwhelmed. Do everything you can to not spread yourself too thin. Never feel obligated to give up what you already feel is limited time to things and people that you have no interest in, because that type of stuff will bog you down. You'll start to feel like you're spread way too thin, and then things will start to suffer, like your work performance, your relationships will start to suffer. You're going to have hard times and bad days if you don't take care of yourself. I will always and forever stress the importance of self-care and addressing the issue and challenge that is mental health, because it's a real thing for a lot of real and good people. I always try to say on my Facebook and all my social medias, and I tell people this, I just say it out loud sometimes, just blurt this shit out, just because I feel like it's important to be said. Check on your strong friends. Even the people who are smiling the biggest sometimes are fighting the toughest battles. Take the 3 or 4 seconds that it takes to just say hello to people, to look people in the eye, to address them, to make them feel comfortable. Yo, give out compliments. I feel like I try to give out compliments each and every day, because you never know what somebody's going through. Or if you see somebody post something and it seems like they're having a hard time, don't feel bad. Just reach out and be like, hey, is everything okay? Lend an ear. Even if it looks like they have 150 people who are prepared to go to battle with them. They may not even be looking at those 150 people. You might be 151, and you might be exactly what that person needs to continue to push forward. It's on everybody to protect everybody from the disaster and the shit that is life. We all have to be here. We all have to coexist. We should all make this a little bit easier on one another. And the way that we do that is just by being good to people. You don't have to be an asshole. It's easy to be good to people. Now, while I have a couple of seconds, I want to leave some food for thought for Tuesday's episode. I expressed at the beginning of the show that based on one of my jobs, all my jobs, I work with students, I work with underserved kids, I work with just kids at daycare centers and after school programs. This is what I do in life. I have a young kid who definitely has some struggles day to day, and when he gets frustrated, when he gets angry, he opts to do and say things that hurt other people because I think it makes him feel better to some degree. Some of the hurtful things and hateful things that he says to people, I truly believe that that stuff is learned behavior. So I feel when I work with kids who go through these situations, I feel like the reason they do that to some degree is because maybe their parents have, I don't want to say failed them, because failed them implies that there is no hope and that it's over, but it's not. Up to this point, I think that maybe some different courses of action could have been taken by the parent or guardian in the household to ensure that when the child reached this point in their life, that maybe they wouldn't participate actively in doing and saying of certain things. I'm being kind of vague because I also don't want to put myself in a situation that's going to be harmful to me, as far as losing a job or whatever the case may be. I don't think that's it because, like I said, I deal with this in multiple things that I do, even within it's just volunteer work. So I'm just giving my opinion based on things that I've been through, not only recently, but throughout the entire 16 years that I've done this type of work, because it literally has been that long. I see a lot of kids that struggle, and they struggle with things that I know can only be learned based on their environment and the things that they are taught and potentially probably just see, whether it be on the internet, whether it be when they're playing video games or looking at YouTube. And sometimes some of the things that they say and do are things that they see other adults that are around them do. So I think it's important as adults that we model behavior. I know I'm saying that and people probably be like, fam, look how you act and you look and all that. Yeah, that may be the case, but I'm also the same guy that's doing everything I possibly can to make sure that the kids that I work with understand and know that they all have their choices to make. I choose to act this way because it's a part of the character. Yes, it is a part of my personality to be funny, to joke, to be real, to be raw, to be uncut, all of those things. But at the same time, I think it is very important to establish a foundation that's built on respect, caring, accountability, responsibility, all of these things. I feel like those things are important. So you have to let kids make their choices, but I think if you're not stressing the importance of some of those things, you should not be surprised when your kids or a kid starts to act out. And after a certain point, I do truly believe that parents lose the ability to communicate with their kids and actually see instant results. Once kids start to get to a certain age, they're transitioning to that point where they want to make their own decisions. They're not always listening to the shit that you have to say. So if you don't start some of the modeling of the behavior and some of the teachings and establishing morals and boundaries and guidelines at an early age, by the time they hit teenage years and above that, it's going to be hard for them. They're not going to be able to function in the world that we all exist in today. There are certain things that you still have to do in order to be a participant in everyday life, and not everybody likes it. So, on Tuesday's show, I want to go into detail about what a lot of people may think is the best course of action to help kids avoid basically turning into asshole adults. I say that because I think some of this stuff, like if you're not teaching your kid to be respectful to other people, adults, their peers, and things like that, if you're not teaching them how to conduct themselves in public, and if you're not monitoring the content that they're exposed to, and you're not trying to combat all the bad shit they hear and see, if you're not trying to combat that by having conversation with them and keeping open dialogue, and then just doing your best to like educate them on certain things to help them make better informed decisions, like you are the problem. You're not part of the solution if you're not engaging in those talks with your kids. And that's coming from someone who doesn't have kids. But I'm the person that has to work with your kids on a daily basis, and I have to deal with some of the issues and problems that they have. And if you come to us and then you say that you feel like it's us not doing enough and you're not holding yourself accountable, like where do you think that your child gets that from? It's probably from you. So on Tuesday, let's talk about what we think we probably can do a little bit better as adults to help ensure that our kids grow up to be strong, self-sufficient adults that come after us. Because you got to remember, when we all get older, our kids have to take care of us to some degree. You want to make sure that the person knows what they're doing before they take over the reins. So that's where we'll close it out. I thank you for tuning in. Again, I am your host, Meemkle Jackson. This is the Meemkle Jackson Show. We're gonna play a song for a couple of minutes, and then we're gonna be out of here, man. And I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Hope you had a good Halloween. Hope you have a great weekend. It's your boy Meemkle, and I'm out. Hit me up. That's it, man. We're done for today. I'm gonna see y'all asses next week.